The emotions of Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson, born on March 15, 1767 and died on June 8, 1845, was the seventh President of the United States. During the American Revolutionary War, Jackson, whose family supported the rebel cause, acted as a courier. He was captured at age 13 and mistreated by his British captors, leading to many of his temper problems. He was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives and then by the state legislature to the U.S. Senate. In 1801, Jackson was appointed colonel in the Tennessee militia, which became his political as well as military basis. Over the decades, Jackson owned hundreds of slaves who worked on the Hermitage plantation, which he expanded greatly after acquiring it in 1804. He killed a man in a duel in 1806 over a matter of honor regarding his wife Rachel. Jackson gained national fame through his role as a commanding officer in the War of 1812, most famously where he won a decisive victory over the main British invasion army at the Battle of New Orleans. Jackson's army was sent to Florida, where he deposed the small Spanish garrison. He ran for president in 1824, narrowly losing to John Adams. During the election, Jackson's opponent referred to him as a jackass. Jackson liked the name and used the jackass as a symbol for a while, but it died out. However, it later became the symbol for the Democratic Party when cartoonist Thomas Nast popularized it. He ran again in 1828 and won this time. Andrew Jackson was the most influential leader of the United States. He had a raging temper, often leading him to threaten his enemies, and in two cases leading to a duel which he won. He even threatened to kill his vice president if he ever came back to Washington during his term. He did not defer to Congress or hesitate to use his presidential veto power. Brands notes that his opponents were terrified of his temper. Observers likened him to a volcano, and only the most interpreted or recklessly curious cared to see it erupt. His close associates all had stories of his blood-curdling oaths, his summoning of the Almighty to loose his wrath upon some miscreant, typically followed by his own vow to hang the villain or blow him to perdition. Given his record in duels, brawls, mutiny trials, and summary hearings, listeners had to take his vows seriously. On the last day of his presidency, Jackson admitted that he had but two regrets: that he had been unable to shoot Henry Clay or to hang John C. Calhoun. President Jackson's changing dynamic of emotion fluctuated throughout his term, from his anger with the U.S. Bank to his forced removal of the Indians, and even to his depression after his wife Rachel died. His term was a pivotal point in American history, changing our nation for the years to come.